Hey friends, remember when experts on CNBC swore the property crisis in China had bottomed out? Yeah, that bottom just collapsed again because even Vanke, China's former crown jewel of real estate, the one developers used to worship as the model student, just posted another brutal loss. We're talking 16.1 billion yuan of financial loss in the 3 months ended September the 30th. That is $2.3 billion. Poof, in a single quarter. So no, the real estate crisis is far from over. If even Beijing's favorite developer is drowning, it means China's property market is not stabilizing. It is sinking, with concrete shoes tied to its ankles. So today, let's talk about the fall of the golden child. For years, Vanke was the symbol of discipline, the Evergrande that didn't go rogue. It was supposed to be the clean, well-run, state-backed darling that can survive anything. Well, turns out even model student can flunk when the whole classroom is on fire. In the third quarter alone, Vanke lost 16.1 billion yuan, double the loss from the same period last year. So the situation is getting worse. For the first 9 months of 2025, its total losses now stand at 28 billion yuan. So that's not a temporary turbulence. That is a plane losing both engines mid-air. Vanke's sales have fallen off a cliff. And it's not just them. Across China, home sales continue to deteriorate. And prices are dropping faster than officials can, censor the bad news. Moody's says Vanke's gross contracted sales will likely keep declining for at least another 6 to 12 months. And when Moody's says declining, what they really mean is, brace for impact. And the Chinese homebuyers have simply stopped believing in the Chinese dream of property. Why buy an apartment when prices are still falling? Why catch the falling knife? The developers are still defaulting. The housing market has gone from aspirational to existential. Now here's the delicious irony. Vanke's biggest backer is Shenzhen Metro Group, a massive state-owned company in Shenzhen. Many experts and investors once thought that this connection with SOE made Vanke immune. Well, it didn't. Despite extra financial support, Vanke is still bleeding cash. Its balance sheet still looks like a patient on life support. And in this case, that oxygen tank belongs to the Shenzhen government. But even Shenzhen Metro's pockets are not bottomless. As Bloomberg analysts warn, Vanke could face a 100 billion yuan drop in sales proceeds, widening its funding gap and raising the cost of any future state bailout. And in this case, even the rescuer may need rescuing. And so, let's be honest, without Shenzhen Metro's bailout, Vanke would have already collapsed. It's the only thing keeping the company's pulse faintly alive. Shenzhen Metro has been quietly rolling over loans, injecting capital, and even parachuting its own executives into Vanke's leadership. Think about that. The state literally had to install its own managers just to keep the lights on. And if the government ever pulls that plug, Vanke wouldn't decline gradually. It will collapse overnight. So when state media calls Vanke's crisis manageable, it's only manageable because taxpayers are footing the bill. People used to say Vanke is not Evergrande. Well, let's talk about this illusion of difference. Evergrande went down in flames because it was reckless, over-leveraged, and built ghost cities faster than anyone can move in. Vanke, on the other hand, was supposed to be the responsible one, right? We talked about it. It's supposed to be cautious, well-connected, and politically safe. But here's the brutal reality. Both cases end the same way. Massive debt, collapsing sales, and state intervention. The only difference is in Evergrande's case, the collapse was chaotic, while Vanke's collapse is bureaucratic. One died screaming, while the other is dying quietly, under government supervision. Vanke was just the wake-up call. The Evergrande was the wake-up call. Vanke is the realization that the whole system was the problem, and Evergrande was just the tip of the iceberg. Vanke still has 10.8 billion yuan of onshore debt coming due before the end of the year. And next year, that number jumps to 24 billion yuan in public bonds and loans. And that's just the visible part. At private debt, the supplier payments, and the interest on those delayed notes, you got a financial time bomb ticking loudly in Shenzhen. And meanwhile, its sales are shrinking, its liquidity is drying up, and its investors are holding their breath and their noses. Now, as if financial meltdown wasn't bad enough, Vanke's leadership looks like a revolving door at a crime drama set. First, its CEO Zhu Jiusheng was detained earlier this year by Chinese authorities. And then just last month, Chairman Xin Jie suddenly disappeared. And who replaces him? Huang Liping, a state-appointed manager from Shenzhen Metro. That's right, the government is now literally running the company. And Vanke just went from a poster child of market-driven enterprise to this state-supervised rescue project. Because when you can't fix the problem, you just nationalize the losses. And let's be honest, Vanke's crisis like Evergrande's crisis, isn't just about one company. It's the perfect mirror of China's collapsing confidence. As you know, for years, Chinese households poured everything into property. It was their savings account, pension fund, retirement plan, all in one. Now, that safe asset is turning into a liability no one wants to touch. New home prices are falling faster than developers can lower them. Sales volumes just keep going down. And now even the safe developers are missing interest payments, begging for lower rates, or just skipping the deadlines. So what we are seeing here is a slow motion implosion. Vanke was once China's largest developer, a national symbol of the real estate miracle. Now, it is the latest flashpoint in a property sector that's been dying for years. Remember common prosperity? Beijing promised to make housing affordable, and they succeeded. Congratulations. Housing prices have crashed. But you know what? The home buyers' wallets are empty too. The irony is almost poetic. The government killed the housing bubble, but the economy went with it. So next time you hear Chinese officials say housing market is stabilizing, ask yourself, if stabilization means losing 16 billion yuan in a single quarter, what does collapse look like? Because if even Vanke, the most politically connected, state-protected developer in China, cannot escape this gravitational pull of property black hole, then let's stop pretending there is a bottom. It will keep crashing. China's property crisis is not behind us. It's the quicksand under Beijing's entire economy. And this Vanke case is just the latest to sink.